Good afternoon, NorCal Carters. This is Jason, and we have a quick special episode with the president of NCK, which is the Northern California Karting guys. They are the road racers of our segment of racers. And good afternoon, Mark. How are you?
Pretty good. How you doing today, Jason?
I'm good. I'm just first, thank you for supporting our NorCal Carters project. I'm just reaching out to our site supporters and giving them the airtime so we don't forget about anybody during this stay in place order. But it looks like we're going to be able to go racing pretty soon. And your next event is in June at Willow Springs. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. I was in conversations with them, and they said that they would open it up. It's still a private day at Willow Springs. No spectators as such will be allowed, so it's a private closed event for the day.
Okay.
With some restrictions, and I decided let's continue on and do it. So we've got it all set up. Registration opened up this morning for it, and I've already got people signed up, ready to go.
So to register for the event, you would go to nckroadracing.com, correct?
Yes.
And then if you're on a computer, it's on the right-hand side where there's a registration link on the app. You know what? I'm not familiar with your app, so I don't know how to do it on the app. Can you walk people through it on the app, or is it just a quick drop-down menu?
It's a quick drop-down menu, and it'll direct you right to. We use an off-site registration company, and it's called dlbracing.com. So most of our drivers and members have accounts already set up, so they can go right to DLB and sign up. And it's a really simple process to do it, or they can follow the instructions on our website. And like you said, it's on the right-hand side of the website page.
Okay.
And it's usually easily followed by with the instructions. Or they can, if they have issues, they can contact one of the NCK board members and ask them the questions that they need help.
Got it. Very cool.
And that information.
And so you got Willow Springs coming up.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
And then our next date's June 27th at Thunder Hill. It's still in the books and it's still a date, but right now we're on hold because they haven't actually said we're open yet. So okay. We're still a wait and see on Thunder Hill.
Now, I imagine though Thunder Hill, I'm probably speaking out of place, but being that they're a privately owned track, and I imagine they're going to push pretty hard to try to get open. That would be my guess.
I would think so. I talk to Thunder Hill on a weekly basis. I've talked to Willow Springs on a weekly basis. I'm still talking to Speed Vegas on a weekly basis about rescheduling that date. So I stay in contact with all the tracks for the latest news because in this pandemic situation, everything is constantly changing. So we're just trying to go with the flow, and my goal is to get my racers back on the track, and that's all I'm trying to do.
Yeah, so let's rewind a little bit. Speed Vegas, this was the first time an outside racing group was going to be able to use their track. I know you've been working on this deal for months. It seemed, to me, being the outsider on the road racing stuff, it seemed like you had a lot of buzz generated over this event and excitement. Since you were right in the middle of it, what were you expecting for Speed Vegas?
Having a great day down there was the goal. We've been working on this since 7-8 months ago. This all come about through one of our members of NCK, Todd Alcutt, which lives in Las Vegas and also works for Speed Vegas. And he just kept hounding them and saying, why not this and why not that? And then they let him do a test drive with his card on it, and one of the upper management people was impressed with what they seen, and that's how it come about. So myself and our club treasurer, Jimmy Skyers, we went to Speed Vegas and actually spent a day there with the people, and it's a fantastic facility. The track is smooth. It's only 1.5 miles long. And by the time we left at the end of the day, we had a handshake agreement set up on a date and the program, and it was all dependent on the future of the date, how it worked out, and we were actually working into 2021, just in conversations. They were that excited about it. We were going to run on a Sunday, and they were still going to run their normal rental car program, and then so they would have a track session, and we'd have a track session. That way their customer base could see what we were doing. The downfall of the whole facility is it doesn't have a large pit area. It was never planned to be open for public racing. So they thought we would be a good fit for them because we're not a super large organization, and it's different, and we really look forward to it. So we were all set to go down there, and then with the pandemic set in, of course, we did the smart thing by canceling, and they finally they shut their facility down 2 weeks later after we canceled because, of course, our people weren't going to travel at the time. But now that it's starting to ease up, so we're trying to work on a new date again. I'm pushing really hard with them to try to come up with an October date for this year. And
an October date.
We'll just have to wait. Yeah, because now with the pandemic, of course, we try to do 6 to 8 events a year. And so I'm just like any other organization right now is I'm looking at how can I get my 6 to 8 races in for my people and still maintain somewhat of a point season. So we're looking at that. So
now I have to ask you a loaded question then, because on the NorCal Chargers calendar, I have in October an event combined with Puget Sound Racing Association.
Correct, you do.
So is there a possibility that's going to get changed, or?
Well, right now it's the race at the Ridge in Washington is still on.
Okay.
We looked at doing a joint venture with the Puget Sound people up there on a shared date and do a double points race and things like that. For my group of people traveling to Washington State in October is a larger gamble on it because of the weather. So if I have to reschedule dates and I have Speed Vegas pop back up as an option, then of course I'm probably going to shuffle my schedule around to do Speed Vegas.
Yeah,
because my people can still go to the Ridge anytime they want to run the Ridge, as a one-off on their own.
That's true, because the Ridge, they do multiple events throughout the year.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
we were just looking. We were just with Aaron up there. We were talking about, hey, let's just do a shared event because their drivers come down and run with us. More of their drivers come run with us, but seems like the California people don't travel as much long distance racing as the Northwest guys do.
Yeah, so, but as part of that, are we spoiled? and I think we had the same problem on the sprint side, where I know the KPX guys. There's a lot of good tracks if you want to travel 4, 5, 6 hours. But they've stated to me that a lot of their racers don't want to go beyond 2 or 3 hours. It's like, so you're limited. But are we spoiled? Because, you and I are both based out of Sacramento. We have 6 kart tracks within 2 or 3 hours. And if you start adding the road racing stuff in there, then it goes, from 6 to 9 tracks. I Maybe we're just spoiled, and the racers are a little too spoiled, and it's like, well, why would I drive way up there?
I think so because being Northern California Carters, our legal corporation name is Northern California Carters. We have Sonoma, we have Thunder Hill, we have Laguna Seca. Back in the day, we had Reno Fernley online. So we had quite a few road courses within that 4-hour drive time.
Yeah, Buttonwillow.
And then we've got Buttonwillow in the south and Little Springs. And when I added Buttonwillow and Little Springs to the track, is why are we going down there? We're Northern California Carters.
Yeah.
Well, at the time, Southern California Carters, due to the economics and stuff, finally disappeared. So we're the only existing road race club in California, Oregon, Nevada, that still operate races. So I decided to take the club down to Willow Springs, and it's like, we're not going down there. We're Northern California Carters. But the first time I took it down there, I drew people in from Las Vegas, Arizona. So now I have 12 to 15 drivers that are dedicated out of that region that constantly run with us. So I feel I'm obligated to, put a race in their backyard once in a while, so they don't have to do that 700-mile tow or 500-mile tow. So I try to spread out.
Yeah.
I try to spread it out because it's not fair for the Las Vegas guy. To me, it's not fair. I call it dedicated loyalty, and I appreciate everything they do. But for them to drive 600-700 miles to all the races all the time and never say a word about it, I feel I owe them the opportunity to put a race in their backyard. And that was the other reason for Speed Vegas as well, is it was paying back to the Southern California, Arizona, and Nevada members.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, if you go to speedvegas.com, their track, it's a full-size track, but they basically do demo rides in Porsches, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, etc. Is that correct, Mark?
Yes, that's correct. They have 14 or 15 exotic cars. It's just like going to a rental kart track. You go in, you get in line, you pay them X amount of dollars for so many laps, and then you go through a little class, and it's more of a safety class type thing. And then you're paired with an instructor. You pick the car that you want to run, and you go out and make 5 laps with an instructor and leave with a smile on your face. The track is actually an FIA-approved track. It's 1.5 miles long with 15 turns, and it's fairly super fast. So that's why we're really excited to go back. Myself and Jimmy, we both drove a Porsche GT3R car, and we just had a blast in it. So,
and is there going to be an opportunity for your road racing participants to also jump into their cars? Because you said they're going back and forth on sessions. Is that going to be an opportunity?
So, yes, that's an opportunity. They can become one of their customers, pay their fee, and they can pick the car of their choice and do their setup at their fee for 5 laps. So
okay.
Throughout the day, they'll have their customers set up doing their laps, and then we'll do we've broken our race program up to, it's an extended, it makes it a long day. But we were going to start on the track at 8:00 in the morning and end at 6:30.
Okay.
At Vegas this time of year, we had plenty of sunlight. So, and we were offered dates June, July, and August, but it's too hot to run a daytime race down there. So we elected not to do a summer race. So that's why I preferred early, mid-spring, early fall. So that way it cools. It's a little cooler, and we still have daylight. That way they're not shutting down their program. When we were discussing prices and stuff, they give us a price, and I just says, well,